federal agents took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs.
Well, y'all, it looks like the feds are gonna need to make a lot more space in their prisons because it looks like Diddy's sons just might be joining him there pretty soon. Word in the streets is that the feds are allegedly investigating Diddy's sons, Christian and Justin, for allegedly threatening witnesses in their dad's ongoing case. Now, y'all know how the prosecution's star witness randomly went missing a couple of days ago and hasn't been heard from since. Well, it looks like the feds believe that Christian and Justin might have had something to do with that. And if the things go the way the feds want them to, we might see them bringing witness tampering charges against the boys before their dad's trial is over. Y'all might need to sit down for this because things are about to be a hot mess. Okay, so Diddy's sons have made it more than clear in the past couple of months that they're their dad's ride or die. They've been showing up to the trial to support their dad, and they've made sure that we know that they're standing 10 toes down behind their dad. Now, I understand that he's their dad, and no matter what, and they probably have conflicted feelings about all of this, but still, to vocally support their dad even after hearing everything he's been accused of is wild. Now, I know that his daughters Jessie and Delilah and Chance also showed up to support him in court, but from the sound of things, they were probably forced to do so, and all the fingers are pointing at Justin and Christian. According to reports, the girls were so horrified by the things that they found out about Diddy during the proceedings that they left the room in tears. According to reports, Daniel Phillip, a male court, alleged in a Manhattan court on Monday, May 12th, that he had been paid by Combs' ex-girlfriend Cassandra Cassie Ventura to have intercourse with her as Combs sat in the corner, watched them while he did. Phillip also testified that he witnessed Combs being violent towards Ventura. Combs' daughters, recent high school graduate Chance Combs and 18-year-old twins Delilah and Jessie Combs, left the courtroom twice while Phillips testified, each time during graphic accounts of encounters, including a time when Combs allegedly touched himself in a corner while watching him have intercourse. But the boys weren't moved by it at all, which has fans wondering if they've become desensitized to the whole thing. And this brings us to the rumors that they might be the reason behind the witness dropping out of the case at the last minute. And honestly, it's not the first time that the boys have been accused of shady behavior regarding their dad's case. Y'all ever heard the saying, the apple don't fall too far from the tree? Well, it's not just about temper problems. Turns out these sons are out here racking up the same essay accusations as their dad. Y'all, the drama really runs deep in the family. For example, producer Lil Rod name-dropped Justin in his lawsuit, saying Justin Combs solicits prostitutes and young girls and S-workers would engage in freak-offs. He also went on to claim that Justin was allegedly involved in Diddy's substance trade. The court document said, as evidenced by the hundreds of hours of video and audio recordings in plaintiff's possession, defendants Sean Combs, Justin Combs, Christina Coram, his assistants, and staff all orchestrated, participated, managed, and executed the RICO enterprise by purchasing and distributing substances, by purchase and distributing arms, by requiring the solicitation of sex encounters from prostitutes and workers and minors, and by forcing artists, creatives, musicians, and producers to utilize their talents and labor to produce music and all their tangible goods and services without compensation. The RICO enterprise has functioned as a continuing unit and maintains an ascertainable structure separate and distinct from the pattern of hearing activity. So it's really starting to seem like Justin might be deeper into Diddy's chaos than anybody realized. And for years, there's been quiet rumors claiming he's helped his dad cover up some pretty shady stuff. And now he's giving Daddy's boy a whole new meaning. Take that DUI situation, for instance. Remember when the internet lit him up, calling him just another spoiled celeb kid spiraling out? Well, word in the streets is now that Diddy was actually the one that was driving, and Justin allegedly took the hit to protect him. Wild, right? But then you throw in these long-standing whispers about Diddy having certain cops in his pocket, and it starts to make a little too much sense. Yeah, the puzzle pieces are definitely coming together. And it also explains why his mom Misa went off on Diddy for setting her son up, saying, "I'm not with none of that reality TV-ish. When is enough enough? I'm not protecting no one anymore, just my son and all the children. I love a come to Jesus moment." The statement "a fish rots from the head down" means that in addition to being a major contributing factor in a family or organization's success, leadership is also the root cause of its failure and demise. The truth shall set you free. She also said, "Everyone has to sit around for years and act like there isn't anything wrong with you. This is where the buck stops for me. If anything ever happened to my son, God forbid, what is anyone gotta say to me when we all know whose fault it would be? But y'all, it didn't stop there, because according to Lil Rod, Justin was allegedly involved in covering up a shooting where somebody nearly lost their life. Rod says things got heated in the studio one day, and during a blow-up, either Diddy or Justin pulled a gun and fired. A man named G was reportedly shot in the stomach, and Rod included photos in the court documents to drive the point home. So Justin wasn't just allegedly helping his dad recruit young women for these notorious parties. He was also wrapped up in covering up some seriously violent incidents. Kinda explains why he was so unmoved during the trial. It's given generational mess. And since we're on the topic of generational chaos, Christian's been getting dragged lately for how he puts his girlfriend on display all over social media. Folks have been accusing him of objectifying her with the kinds of pictures he posts, and honestly, once you see it, it's hard to unsee. But that's not even the worst of it. Christian is also facing an open SA lawsuit. A woman named Grace Kai came forward with some heavy allegations, claiming Christian allegedly tried to SA her while she was working on a luxury yacht Diddy had rented for a family vacation. According to Grace, she was hired as a stewardess on the yacht right before the new year 2023, meaning the alleged incident happened in late December 2022 during what was supposed to be a festive getaway. It's definitely not the kind of holiday memory anyone signed up for. And according to TMZ, Grace Kai claimed that she was doing her job during the shindig, which she claims was advertised as a family-friendly excursion, and King came on after, which she claims he immediately became fixated on her, uncomfortably so. She alleges King had her take a shot of liquor, and she claims she immediately suspected it was spiked, but despite that, she was able to tell him to get off of her and leave her alone. She claims King was trying to kiss and grope her despite her protest. Now, according to Grace, it all started with a heated confrontation between her and Christian that quickly spiraled into a physical struggle. She managed to get away and put some distance between them, thinking the worst was over, but things just didn't stop there. Grace says Christian then told her to get back to work. He allegedly demanded she find him a place to sleep on the yacht and made it clear she had no real choice but to do what he said, so she led him to the theater room. That's when, according to Grace, things took an even darker turn. She claims Christian blocked the exit, trapping her inside and leaving her completely vulnerable. She says the second encounter was far more terrifying than the first, as it became clear just how dangerous the situation really was. According to reports, King cornered her again and attempted to force her to perform action on him, but says she fought him off and includes in the docs photos of her forearm, which she claims was bruised in the altercation. Eventually, Kai says she was able to escape, but claims to have suffered mentally and emotionally ever since. So yeah, it's not surprising that Justin and Christian allegedly want to silence the witnesses. At this point, it's as much self-preservation as protecting their father. What's wild is that this isn't even the first time Justin and Christian have allegedly tried to gang up on someone, because just last year they reportedly tried to jump Ray J after he spoke out against Diddy and the disturbing accusations surrounding him. Now, if you're wondering why they came for Ray J specifically, especially when half the internet has been dragging their dad, it's likely because Ray J and Diddy used to be thick as thieves. They were always popping up at events together, teaming up on projects and giving off bestie energy. But somewhere along the line, that friendship soured, and it looks like Diddy's legal drama might have been the final straw. Now, at first, Ray J was trying to keep it cute and staying neutral when the news of the federal investigation dropped last April. He wasn't picking sides or stirring the pot, he kept his distance. But as more and more lawsuits and accusations started stacking up, Ray J's whole energy changed. He went from staying quiet to dragging Diddy all over social media, and he didn't hold back. He was calling him out left and right, no more sugarcoating, and just straight up shots were getting fired.
Is Diddy all there is? Is this what represents hip-hop? This is what represents hip-hop in its entirety. That's not true. Do you forgive somebody for taking somebody's ass? There's a lot of people out here taking from people. Not only like people are getting robbed of not only their money and their spirituality, they're getting robbed of their womanhood and manhood. Pieces are being taken in ways that nobody can explain. Do you chuckle? Do you laugh? Do you help? Do you criticize? Because I see a lot of jokes out there right now talking about baby oil. Everybody got a joke about having baby oil and lube. Is that okay? Is that the message? That was funny, fam. Now what? I don't use baby oil. Lube sometimes makes it better. Should I come out with Ray Y jelly and do some kind of like skit and say, KY just gave me a deal. Ray Y jelly, I got 1,000 of them. Ha 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 ha. Ray Y. That funny to you? It's not to me. Because there's a victim out there that has been caught up in something that has affected their lives. And if it has something to do with that, or it has something to do with any other products or any other thing you're hearing about, it's distasteful.
Now, Ray J going from Diddy's friend to his critic really shook things up in Hollywood because loyalty is everything. And when someone like Ray J, he used to be close with Diddy, starts speaking out, especially with Diddy being as powerful as he is, you know it's going to cause some drama. But fast forward to Halloween parties, and by that point, Diddy's sons were already fired up over Ray J's comments, and it seemed like they were just waiting for the chance to confront him. The party ended up being the perfect setting for things to go down. The whole thing happened at Terra Electric's Halloween party in LA. Ray J showed up with Amber Rose and his manager David Weintraub, while Diddy's sons Quincy, Christian, and Justin were also there. Everything seemed cool at first, but once it was time to leave, things took a turn. As people were heading out, Diddy's sons decided to make their move on Ray J. They cornered him in the parking lot, and it didn't take long for things to get heated. Witnesses said they were right in Ray J's face and it looked like it was about to blow up. Hazel E., who was also there, said she was actually scared someone might get shot.
It kind of ensued at the end of the party when we were trying to exit the building, actually. I honestly just saw like Christian, Justin, Quincy kind of start circling Ray a little bit. Words were exchanged. Things started getting heated. I don't want it to really like get to this level, so out of nowhere, Chris Brown hops out the car like a freaking leprechaun out of the magically delicious sky, and like honestly, he started breaking it up. I tried to talk to Quincy, Christian, get their stance on it and let them know that this wasn't the time and the place.
And just when it looked like things were about to get physical, Chris Brown stepped in and helped cool things down. Apparently, he was nearby in his car when he saw the commotion in the parking lot. See, Ray J surrounded by Diddy's sons and their crew, he quickly rushed over. His timing was unexpected, but Chris jumped right in, teaming up with Ray J's manager to separate everyone and calm the situation before it got any worse. So yeah, Diddy's sons don't play when it comes to their dad. And with witnesses dropping out of the case and going missing like flies, it's not surprising that feds are looking at Diddy's son sideways. And in case you missed the tea, it was recently reported that the feds admitted that one of the 4 key witnesses set to testify in New York federal trial may not turn up to take the witness stand. More reports revealed that only a few weeks ago, Victim 3, as she is called into the indictment against Combs, had pledged to testify in the criminal trial that will likely see the plea deal, rejecting Grammy-winning defendant in prison for the rest of his life if found guilty. Shielded from having to give her real name, Victim 3, according to court filings, would have detailed for the court and the jury just how Diddy allegedly exploited her. To put this into perspective, this could seriously jeopardize the prosecution's case, since she's their key witness. Without her, the whole case becomes way more unstable, and it could end up giving Diddy a shot at walking away scot-free. Now, according to reports, Victim 3 may provide Combs' legal team with the tools to bring the case to a standstill, at least for now. Expected before Judge Arun Subramanian around 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard to solidify the jury and hear an update on Victim 3 from the feds, the defense is planning to ask for a mistrial or seek a delay in the start of the trial. Law enforcement sources say that they believe Victim 3 has gone dark out of fears for her safety, but would not give out any specifics. But according to new reports from the feds, Victim 3 didn't just vanish. She was allegedly threatened by Diddy's sons to prevent her from testifying at the trial. And what's really suspicious is that she disappeared just days after she finally agreed to testify using her real name. Up until then, her identity had been kept secret, known only to the investigators and prosecutors, so the timing there was wild. She agrees to come forward, and then suddenly she disappears without explanation? Yeah, something's definitely not adding up, and it's no wonder the feds are suspecting foul play. And a few weeks ago, the feds released a new superseding indictment that proved just how important Victim 3 was to the case. The new indictment said, at all times relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, engaged in persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. The abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in orchestrated performances of activity with Combs and at times with Combs and male commercial sex workers. At times, Combs and others acting as his direction made arrangements for women and commercial sex workers to fly to Combs' location. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support and threatening to cut off the same, and using intimidation and Then they added the new charges, writing, Combs and the other members of associates of a Combs enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs' role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims in Combs' orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Combs then used force, threats of force, coercion to cause victims, including but not limited to 3 female victims, victim 1, victim 2, and victim 3, to engage in commercial sex acts. In connection with the commercial sex acts, Combs provided the victims with, among other things, monetary payments, career opportunities, and payment of rent and housing expenses. It continued, some of the commercial sex acts involved male commercial sex workers and were referred to by Combs as, among other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs were elaborate and produced performances that Combs arranged, directed, during, and often electronically recorded. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs was the assistance of other members and associates of the Combs enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial sex workers across state lines and internationally. So is it really a surprise that she was allegedly threatened? Not at all. There are now rumors that more witnesses are allegedly dropping out of the case. It seems like they must have been threatened into silence, and something tells me that this case is getting way more chaotic than we ever could imagine. But do you think that the feds are right about Diddy's sons threatening people? Or do you think that they're desperately trying to save face after their star witness bailed on them and humiliated them? Drop your thoughts and comments below, and then check out this next video.